My name is Tang Wei, I'm 32. A senior assistant with a quiet past and a habit of keeping my heart locked away. I don't chase love. I organize calendars, book flights, and fix other people's chaos. But one wrong text from my boss? It dragged me into a digital love story I was never supposed to star in. It was just another late Tuesday night. Everyone had gone home. I stayed behind as usual, cleaning up the weekly schedule and sending off invoices for a CEO who barely noticed I existed. Until my phone buzzed. Message from Boss Li Juanhao, I miss you already. Can't wait to hold you again tonight. I blinked. Stared. My heart stuttered. This wasn't for me. But it was my number. Before I could respond, another message came. Don't tell anyone at work. They think we're still apart. Let them. I froze. Hands sweating. He thought I was her. His fiancée. The one who used to work in PR. The one who left quietly 6 months ago and was never spoken of again. I should have corrected him. I should have said, Sir, you've texted the wrong number. But I didn't. Instead, my thumb hovered. And I replied, I miss you too. I don't know why. Maybe because I was tired of being invisible. Maybe because for once someone saw me even if by mistake. And that night, he sent a photo. Not of himself, but of a small blue pendant I once wore, one I thought I'd lost. Still carry this. Still remember everything. My hands trembled. He wasn't texting his fiancée. He was texting someone who looked exactly like me. Or maybe he had never stopped thinking about me, because 5 years ago, before I worked for him, I was his intern, and his secret. I stared at the screen like it might burn me. 5 years ago, I was 27, quiet, invisible, a fresh intern with too many secrets and not enough confidence. He was already rising, sharp suits, sharper eyes. And for 3 months we were something. Private lunches, glances in the elevator, late-night texts that said too much. But then, one day, he walked into the office holding another woman's hand. She was stunning, magnetic, everything I wasn't. I quit the next week. No words, no tears, just silence. Years passed. I rebuilt myself, got promoted, wore heels that didn't hurt, stopped looking for closure. Until now, until this. He thinks I'm her. Or maybe he wants to think I'm her because the truth is too messy. Either way, I kept replying. Because every message felt like a thread I hadn't realized I was still holding. The way you smiled in that cafe still lives in my head. I read it. Twice. 3 times. He remembered. Me. And then he asked, should I cancel the engagement dinner next week? You always hated public shows. Engagement? My heart sank. He was marrying her. And texting me. I should have stopped it. Instead, I replied, if it's not real, don't fake it. The typing bubbles popped up. Pause. Disappeared. Then he called. I didn't answer. Because what would I even say? That I wasn't who he thought I was? That I still remembered the scent of his cologne in conference rooms? That the woman he was marrying had my ghost between them? But what I didn't know was that he had already checked the contact. Already realized the truth. And the next morning, he walked into the office, straight to my desk, and whispered, it was you, wasn't it? I looked up and said nothing, because everything was already unraveling. The office was too quiet. Phones rang, keyboards clicked, but all I could hear was his voice. It was you, wasn't it? I opened my mouth, closed it again. He wasn't supposed to know, but he had already pieced it together. The texting tone, the replies, the silence between the words. I never forgot you, Tang Wei, he whispered. You just disappeared. I had to, I said, barely audible. You chose someone else. He shook his head. I didn't choose. I settled. I felt sick. You're engaged, I said. He stepped closer. Not anymore. And that's when I heard it, the sharp click of heels behind him. I looked over his shoulder and saw her, the fiancée, staring. Pale. Still. I thought so, she said coldly. I always wondered why you kept that pendant. He turned. Shocked. Guilty. Silent. She held up her phone. I saw the messages. I knew it wasn't me. Then she looked at me. You played the ghost well. I stood up, heart racing. I didn't mean to. No, she cut in. You just replied. Then quietly, good luck both of you. Some stories deserve tragic endings. She walked out. Dignified. Destroyed. He didn't chase her. He just looked at me. I ruined everything again, didn't I? Tears pressed at the edge of my lashes. You didn't ruin it, I said. It was already broken. We stood in the middle of an office filled with people pretending not to hear. And I realized something. I wasn't in a Wattpad love story anymore. There were no perfect endings. Just messy feelings and consequences. Still, he reached for my hand. Let me start over. No lies. No ghosts. Just us. And I walked away. Because some confessions come too late. I didn't sleep the night I walked away. I didn't cry either. There was no grand heartbreak, just a quiet ache. The kind that settles in your bones when you realize closure doesn't always come in pretty sentences. I went back to work. Head down. No mention of the texts. No mention of him. Rumors swirled. That the engagement was off, that the peer girl resigned. But I kept my silence. Then, on the third morning, there was an envelope on my desk. No name. Just one thing written in handwriting I knew too well. If I could rewrite the beginning, I would. Inside was the pendant, the same one I thought I'd lost 5 years ago. And a letter. Not typed. Not formal. Just ink. Smudged in places. It read, Tang Wei, you were never invisible to me. I kept you hidden because I was afraid. Afraid of what loving you out loud would cost me. I thought I needed someone the world would approve of. Turns out, I just needed you. My fingers trembled. I've spent 5 years engaged to silence, committed to regret. But the moment you replied, even by mistake, I remembered what it felt like to feel. Please meet me tonight. One last time. No titles. No games. Just us. Juanhao. I stared at the clock. 6:03 p.m. The meeting place was written at the bottom. The same cafe we used to go to after hours. I grabbed my coat. Heart pounding. Doubt screaming. But something softer whispered, what if this isn't the end, but the rewrite you both needed? So I ran. Not because I believed in fairy tales again, but because maybe, just maybe, the truth deserved one more page. The cafe hadn't changed. Same flickering sign. Same clinking of mismatched mugs. Same booth in the corner where two strangers once became something more. And there he was, sitting there with 2 coffees. No phone. No distractions. Just waiting. He looked up the moment I entered, like he'd been holding his breath since the day I left. I sat down slowly. Hi, I said. He smiled. Small. Nervous. No suit today, I noticed. No title either, he replied. Just me. We sat in silence for a moment. But it wasn't awkward. It was full. Like the words didn't need to be spoken yet. Then he slid something across the table. A little velvet box. I panicked. Juanhao, I didn't come here for. He opened it. It wasn't a ring. It was the spare key to his apartment. I'm not asking you to marry me, he said gently. I'm asking you to come home. I blinked. To a home I never had? I whispered. He nodded. To one we build. Together. From truth. He reached across the table and took my hand. Let's stop texting ghosts. Let's stop writing drafts we're too scared to finish. Let's just live the story now. My chest cracked open. Because for years I thought I was just a side character. A typo in someone else's love story. But now? Now I realized I was the author. And maybe he was the only one who ever read me properly. So I nodded. Tears in my eyes. Strength in my spine. And for once, I didn't feel like a mistake. I felt like the final chapter. Sometimes the wrong text leads to the right story. If you're brave enough to reply.